All right, so preventing entries to leg entanglements. Okay, so I mean the first thing would be just, if you can keep your feet below the line of the hips, as a general rule, this is going to make it harder. If you can stay on your knees, it will be even more difficult, right? My knees are down on the ground. It's harder to get to leg entanglements than if I'm standing up. And if my feet are further back, it's harder to get the foot up towards the armpit where he wants to secure onto the leg. Okay, but obviously, we can keep our legs back, but at some point we kind of need our legs to be doing stuff to help us actually pass the guard as well. So that's where you got to learn try to find the point where they still can't leg entangle you, but you're going a bit closer towards them being able to do that, because that gives you more mobility and so on, where you can use your legs effectively. So one thing you can think about is keeping your feet behind your opponent's feet. Okay, so generally, if I'm here, it's hard to directly pull. If he tries to pull my leg into his armpit, go for it. You'll see my foot being hooked behind a leg has made that difficult. Okay, so we can be pummeling. There's often a battle here. He's trying to hook my legs, and I can be working to pummel my legs inside. Okay, he goes here like this. I can look for that inside leg position. It's hard to directly pull my foot in towards an armpit. So that's one thing we can do. He goes shin on shin. We can drop our knee down, put our foot back in. This is very common, these sort of battles. We go back. One thing we looked at was shin on shin, and often we were stepping to get our foot back in so he can't pull my leg in. We will of course be stepping out wide. When as we pass, we want to go from front on. We want to start getting more side on for various reasons we covered in the supine passing. But if I step too close, this leg can start getting tangled up. I'm in a leg entanglement. Okay. So basically, you want to step to the point where they have to stretch. Okay. If you make it so they have to stretch, you can have some blocks in place. Okay. I can post on the mat, for example. Right. If you can't close his head in towards my leg, that's difficult. Okay. I can start dropping to my knee, making it even more difficult, and then I can sprawl to get rid of grips. Okay. Crossface will do the same thing. Okay. And even crossface is stronger, but always be wary when you come in deep for a crossface, you give them your weight. So if he's grabbing my leg, I try to crossface, sometimes I get off balance. So if it's not as good of a position, the post is often better. That stops me coming forward. I can now start trying to sprawl out. If things are looking really good though, and I'm low, a crossface can be excellent. Yeah, because it lets me get good positioning myself. So then anytime someone starts to elevate your leg, you can often circle over in front as well. Okay. Sometimes people, they start lifting your leg, they're trying to pull it up into the armpit. Okay. Often when your foot's being elevated, you go again, you'll have room to circle back to the inside. Okay, go once more, like this. As well, when people grab the end of your foot and they're trying to pull it to your armpit, you can often kick out. Whilst they're stretched out, there's often room to kick out of a grip. Okay, so there's kind of like when it's scooped the leg, we'll often block like this. When they grip from the outside, we'll often kick up. Okay, and if there's no grips, we can circle over the top as well to get our leg back. Then there's the cross leg, so the 50-50. Two major ways they're going to get to this. If I step past the hip, which a lot of the time we might be thinking about that when we want to pass to knee on belly. Okay, so we've got to watch when we step past the hip that we don't leave a gap for this foot to thread through into a leg entanglement. It's not that of course he can grab my leg when I do this. I'm mostly concerned about not letting his leg come through a gap. Okay, so how do we stop the 50-50? One way is don't step as far. Okay, so you can step a little lower. Okay, but actually then you might not get to where you want it. So usually if I do step past the hip, I'll try to turn my knee out. Okay, now if you see it's out and attached to the shin, when he tries to bring his foot in, it's blocked. Okay, you'll see if I put my knee, exact same position, start like inverting a bit. Yeah. So with my knee out, you'll see he's trying to thread his leg through, it's blocked. Exact same position, I turn my knee in, you'll see he's got room to thread his foot through and capture the entanglement. So remember, for 50-50, he's trying to go through this gap. We can also remove that gap by putting our feet together. sometimes like this. He tries to thread through that gap, and that can be difficult. Obviously, some other issues can occur when you do this, but this closing your feet together can be another way of stopping that. The other way, they're going to chop over to the leg entanglement to get through to the 50-50 is usually via something like a K-guard, where he's going to thread his leg over the top. We talked about getting rid of K-guard hooks. I just want to talk quickly about when a leg's coming over towards 50-50. What we want to try to do is block one of two things. We want to try to either block the end of the lever at the calf, punching down on the mat. So he goes to go over, like down near the ankle, because when he tries to chop now, he loses the ability to chop through on my leg. Not at the knee. Okay, here, they can often still chop through. I can collect my arm. See, there's some things he can do with my arm, and also he can really tie up my leg and cause issues. I want to block. So you can see he can still curl the foot if I grab the knee. Okay. If he goes over and I block at the calf, there's no curl here like this. Okay, and then of course, there's other things we can do to start clearing the grip on the leg, like we talked about before, blocking the head and sprawl. The other thing that you might be able to do to stop a leg chopping over is turning the hips away. Okay. He goes to do that, and I can turn the hips and face away. You'll see this leg now, he's trying to chop that through, he's going to struggle to do.